Alright, so this video is gonna be about Geechee people are the reason why I am slowed down so much. You know, when I think about graveyards like at random, when I think about the graveyards, I be trying to figure out why, everybody is supposed to have a death date. And I think the only reason why I'm worried about that is because I'm not innocent. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I be trying to figure out, is the people that's left, if the people that's gone, why are they gone? You know what I'm saying? Most people dying from, they say suicide, heart attacks, and shit like that. I mean, think about it. When natural disasters and shit happen, don't get me wrong, I was taught to be a stereotypical God worshiping Southerner, and I just think that, not going against the grains of your own emotions is what you're not supposed to do. But I'm saying to really detox myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure. This is the reason why this is where the term dysfunctionality comes in. Because when you from the ghetto and you come from a broken home, that means that you have split families, half sisters, half cousins, uncles, stepdaddies, and shit like that. Now, having a peace of mind is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not gonna die with a peaceful life. What I'm trying to figure out personally is why, I guess from an intellectual standpoint, people can, I'm not saying somebody plotted on my downfall, because it's my job to learn and just keep it moving and keep it pushing. But what my downfall emotionally is realizing that people are sitting here being thoroughbreds, and people are, taking losses, and they're losing their minds, and they're going out and they're doing stupid shit. I think my mom's female identity, her interest in men, or her interest in men being that she has 4 kids out of her own vagina, is the reason why I kind of feel safe living on this earth. Because in reality, that's what I was told naturally. I was supposed to be with a man. And when I realized that, like I've said in previous videos, certain conceptual things like white supremacy and all this random shit that's got people creating or naturally motivated to have their own movements, own sets, own gangs, own street gangs, whatever. It's disheartening, because I'm an outcast, and being an outcast is not a bad thing. It just means that you won't conform to the typical ideology around you. That's all it means. And depending on how positive your life has led you, sometimes that can be hard. You know what I'm saying? You can read somebody and tell. I think that's why I just bought some books about food. I stress about certain things that I do, but when it comes to emotions, that's where that's what people have played on when it came to me. Because in reality, this is the reason why I don't get some people. And this is the reason why everybody has, what they call an argument. Some people are born in a situation. And don't get me wrong, some people have a heart of gold. And I try my best to be a good person. But it just happened that way. There are some people where there's, how when you learning in school, like when I was learning physics, I'm like, or just learning literature, you got a verb and you got an adverb. You're learning things that sound similar, but there is a way that it's reworded. It seems like a mind game that makes it actually a different thing. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I don't get along with most women in my life is because I choose not to conform to the idea of being with a man. And the reason why I take offense to a male ego is because of the natural form dysfunction that my life has had in store for me, has laid out, right? My dad and my mom have children, different dads, moms, whatever, stepdad, stepmom, and there's really no commonality. When you're born into this world and you learn the concept of being an inbreed and stuff, you pretty much are walking by faith and not by sight. You see what I'm saying? You have to use wisdom. So, I can say that learning the Christian way of thinking, the biblical way of thinking, I'm doubting myself because of just emotional imbalances, which is the reason why I go to counseling and things. But in reality, you know what I'm saying? I hope that whoever be counseling me, making their money and taking it back to their family and having a good time. Because everybody, everybody's life ain't the same. Like I say, it's like an experiment. It's always a different variable for people. And stuff in my life has balanced out. Okay, so my life has led people to view me as insecure because of this dysfunctional way of thinking that I came from. But I'm not finna really just, whatever my struggle is, which I'm trying to be an optimist, which I don't really try to think about it. Whatever my struggle is, whatever makes me feel negative, it's really something that I'm thankful for, because like I said, it makes me it turns into a motivation, like most say. It turns into a motivational thing. You know what I'm saying? My life, I'm not really fitting in with nobody because of the fact that I'm a woman and not just being with anybody. And I think that's what I most fear. From an intellectual standpoint, I'm sitting here learning conceptual things like being abused, really thinking too hard about things. You know what I'm saying? I understand naturalism and all that, but I do understand comfortability too. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I don't feel on a mental level. So whether we using reverse psychology or whatever the fuck we using, you know what I'm saying? Don't judge people for how they are. I got all my limbs and I appreciate them. And you know what I'm saying? I feel inferior to a male. So it's plenty of men walking around here with gunshot wounds and all that stuff, and ain't no telling why. Because, you see a lot of men, with slavery and stuff, people marching, ain't no telling. It probably was way worse. The Nation of GD, people carrying this legacy on, people around my age, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to take them seriously because we are the kids of the old school niggas. So I'm like, just listening to these niggas, my life didn't seem hard to me. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the ghetto, and I guess learning more about the area I lived in made it more ghetto than it really, it was the ghetto, but not really. You see what I'm saying? It just depends when you learn your history and stuff. When you go to Atlanta, there are some people, you know what I'm saying, there are certain places where you go where you just feel like the hood. And I'm like, some people make it seem easy and make it look easy, but there are places you can go where there's a different feel, a different vibe, and you like, man, I feel better on this street. That's how it is. That's how I feel about like Powder Springs and shit. I'm like, this shit don't feel like Southwest Atlanta. This shit don't, you know what I'm saying? I feel way better right here. Like, I don't know. It's just, I overthink a lot. So I just really just need to put my head in these books until it's time for me to get the fuck on somewhere. I didn't expect to be born here. I didn't expect to have 4 little sisters. And, we all different. We all come from different, I realized that I'm an empath and I'm mocking a lot of people that I've seen in my life, particularly that have a lot of struggle. And I naturally respect these people's struggle. And I do. Because sometimes that's just how it is. I've had, connections and stuff with people that was unwanted, but it happened naturally. You know what I'm saying? My mom married a guy who said his parents died when he was 10 or some shit like that. That whole, that whole shebang. And it's like, I don't know how to deal with all that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of these people, are just being strong. And I'm like, I just get to thinking, I'm like, it is some people that seemingly got their shit together, but motherfuckers make it look easy. Don't get that shit twisted. Ain't no such thing as a perfect life. I mean, I just feel like I want something new. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a different place. I was looking up, like, it's a rapper named Tracy T, and he was out there in Medellin, Antioquia, or some shit like that. Somebody from Mexico, shit, put me in. I think Mexico is just like Florida. It's a damn peninsula surrounded by damn water, man. Somebody fuck with the kid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me go live in a hotel room. Shit, I be trying to study like areas, traveling and shit like that. I got a little travel playlist and just study area and what. I know I'm by a beach. 9 times out of 10, it could flood. Yeah. As I get older, what I will say is, if you say knowledge definitely is power. I definitely make better choices and feel better when I'm doing something intellectual based. You know what I'm saying? I realize now, and I'm put the cigarettes down. I'm about to smoke some. I'm not finna smoke no weed, but I'm about to read these books and get my head out the gutter. Because a lot of time, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the people, the paradigms that I have formed in my head, I wasn't connected with them, so they've been toxic for me. So, and they still are toxic for me. So, I just, I guess I always wonder what it would have been like if I just would have been with a man. But I'm like, these women are being strong to me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't my business is not these people's business, but at the same time it is, because I'm like, I got to worry about this and that and third. And that's what I'm saying. I come from a broken home, which means that my mama got babies by men that that didn't help create me. From my understanding, I have one father. I won't call him Pops, because at the end of the day, everybody don't have, paperwork signed. You know what I'm saying? My dad signed my birth certificate and shit. So whoever the fuck the nigga is, you know what I'm saying, he is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. All the men my mama been with pretty much, liked her. And I was sitting there taking offense to it just because of sexuality. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like, they had a little breakdown since the moment. I really do care about your mom. There's a sense of loyalty there. That's my understanding. So that was saying, I'm not in a relationship with these people. I'm around it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, at the end of the day, I just grew up and I guess, I won't say I was being rebellious. I just wanted people to reject me in a general sense, because I'm realizing that, I always felt like my mind was on edge. That's why I felt like I had PTSD, because I really have to talk myself into optimism. And, so I be feeling guilty when I feel like I'm complaining, but sometimes just on the emotional level, if you ain't built like that, you ain't built like that. I know what it is. I was supposed to be in love with a nigga that sold dope or whatever the case was, and that's not what my heart was. Not from an intellectual standpoint. And I still have to deal with people belittling me because of this man and that shit. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't see it as a joking matter. You know what I'm saying? And I try not to take shit to the heart, but like I've said before, I have to appreciate whatever, makes me feel negative, because there are people that go through way worse stuff, and you know what I'm saying. That's what I usually would tell them. Like, don't get that shit twisted. I don't feel 100%. You know, somebody could be sitting there. I'm trying not to be macho and shit like that. You know, but I am gonna start back trying to do push-ups and shit like that, because I'm like, at the end of the day, you know, ain't nothing wrong. I don't think it's nothing wrong with me rejecting my female identity and wanting to live the life of a man, because, like I said, they make it look easy. That's the game that I've been read on my mind, because I'm like, in essence, you know, it's hard to figure shit out because of, you know, how much pain people can take. I can sit here and be like a man and a woman fighting and look at it as a domestic dispute. You know, like, damn, he beating the shit out of that bitch. But that ain't what my mind and pride won't let me do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all are in a relationship and y'all are in disagreements. That man probably went through some shit more than you. Whoever got more struggle, you know, pretty much gonna win the fight. So, at the end of the day, I can't look at it like a nigga just, it's a bunch of goddamn thugged out ass niggas just walking around, you know, beating people asses and shit. So, you know, whenever it's my time to go, you know what I'm saying, I hope I live a long time, because at the end of the day, you know, I was taught to believe in heaven and hell, and I'm like, me being in my feelings about everybody problems and whatever goddamn, you know, problems, personal, emotional issues I got, and people, we all taking it out on each other. You know what I'm saying? Narcissism. I guess that's what they call narcissism. I'm like, nah, I didn't expect, you know, to be living in, you know, I didn't expect, I don't want to be with no man as a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I regret, you know what I'm saying, letting a man, you know what I'm saying, go there with me. I regret that shit 100%. But at the same time, like I said, I don't, because I won't feel 100% comfortable, and there's people that are going through way worse stuff, and all I can do is vent to myself. And, you know, most places ain't no different. I'm in South Carolina. It feel a little different, but it's the same shit. You got houses, apartment buildings, streets. You just got to figure out where you are. Where are you? You know what I'm saying? It'd be cool to learn how to fly a plane and stuff like that. You know, when I was in school, people would challenge me. You know what I'm saying? Them teachers knew what they were talking about. They like, okay, well, you're a kid, you experience this and then the third. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that you're stressing a bit. And you know what I'm saying? It was humorous. I understand it's humorous. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, eventually I'm going to stop eating grilled meat and all that. Because when you're a person that think too hard about stuff, all this stuff affects the way you feel. So, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I got a lot of shit that ring in my head. You know, that's what I think schizophrenia is. It's not schizophrenia. It's more of just a pessimistic mind. A pill can't fix that. You have to fix that deep down within yourself. You have to take your mind off the bullcrap. I guess that's what doing push-ups and stuff do. Take your mind off the shit that you don't want to think about.